Okay, hold on. I hope mic is working now, but I don't want this in the corner. Nope. Okay. Okay. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Okay, just checked. It looks good. So, this is game 1 of the 2025 Star Wars Rebellion tournament. We haven't had one in, I believe it's been 3 years. Last time was 2022. First two contestants is Mellymega and hello there. Mellymega is playing Empire, and hello there is playing Rebels. So, we got base and base. Okay, I'm more familiar with base cards, so it should be much easier to commentate. Hopefully, I can make it through the whole game, but I may have to cut off early on. It looks like we have actually something interesting playing out, something that we discussed in setup, which is having the Death Star under construction, which is the route setup, which is not normal. But because the Empire doesn't have Saleucami, the Rebels get a free Moncal. So our rule was that if that happens, the Empire can't choose to play route, which is all that it happens on the first game. This doesn't happen all the time, but that is all right. Okay, fairly standard setup from Mali. Death Star under construction, Star Destroyer, and ties to take out Utapau. Looks like she's setting up for a Mandalore, a Dagobah, and a Rhodia fleet. The AC is kind of Celeste or Corellia. I can see a couple things happening here. Potentially a strike from Hoth to Mustafar because the Star Destroyer on Dagobah has to move to Utapau. But I'm not as familiar with both of these players. I think it is a fairly even match. Again, this was all randomized, but I guess we'll have to see and find out. Okay, everything is fairly standard. I was about to mention the AC, the assault carrier, but she moved it to Dagobah, which is, I'd say, pretty decent because when a lone AC can just be destroyed by the Y-wing card, so it's all about keeping the fleets together. Definitely taking their time on this setup, which is definitely important in a tournament like this. Double elimination, so there will be a lower bracket. So whoever loses this game will go down to the lower bracket. You can join our Discord. There's a link in the description. There'll be the brackets, all the listings there, and potentially when we host future tournaments, they'll all be held there. Okay. I'm not as familiar with the route setup. I know that the Rebels are much weaker because they don't have an X-Wing and a Y-Wing. They have a U-Wing instead, which is... the card is okay. I'd prefer, as Rebels, having 2 X-Wings and 2 Y-Wings rather than an X-Wing, a Y-Wing, and a U-Wing. The Empire's definitely stronger, I'd say, but Rebels can still definitely win, especially with a loyal Moncal guaranteed. Let's talk about the other planets, though. So we have a loyal Corellia, a loyal Mandalore, and a loyal Mustafar for the Empire, which is very good loyalty. The one thing I might swap is Celeste for Mandalore, but there aren't many units in Celeste, so that could definitely be a first turn strike for the Rebels. So honestly, very good loyalty for the Empire here. The Rebels, on the other hand, I mean, Kashyyyk, it's gone. Naboo, it's gone. It's pretty standard for rebels to lose most of their planets early game, unless again Moncal is cornered off, or Ryloth, or the rebels have Ryloth. Okay, looks like we have 8 people watching. Not bad. I'll take it for a first stream. Yeah, hello there points out that, yeah, we need units on Coruscant. 2 units is good because it prevents the Rebel objective card from being scored. If we were to put 3 Stormtroopers there, the Rebels have a potential turn 1 objective card of destroy 3 health worth of ground units. So always good to have not too many ground units in case you're risking it. I could see Empire going with R&D early game. Potentially, I like to put Vader, or not Vader on R&D. I like to put Taj on R&D because he would cover a sabotage on Corellia. The Rebels, on the other hand, pretty standard stuff. Build alliance. The only question is, do they play sabotage? Do they play infiltration? Are they going for a first turn strike? So the Rebels have a lot more variables. Imperials are pretty standard for the early game. Okay, swapping the tank and the trooper between Sauce and Mustafar. Not bad. Still works. Okay, and she has a Stormtrooper and a TIE Fighter left. Just reinforcing the fleets a little. So I'm hoping that this game will end in about 2 hours 45 minutes. I have some things to attend to. But in the event that it doesn't, I will have to cut off the stream. But all the results will be posted afterwards. All the players notify us and all that. We have it all planned out, so nothing to worry about there. We should have other streamers as well. Wombat said that he'd be posting when he's available. Spoonwise was setting up his channel so he can post. So I guess I just got the early draw. Okay. Just waiting for confirmation. Yep. Okay. And yeah, first turn strike and a big one at that. In Kato, definitely going for the lone AC in Corellia, and a couple stormtroopers there. Stormtroopers and an ATS, so definitely possibility to score the destroy 3 health worth of Imperial ground units, especially since they have a Vanguard with them, which can deal 2 damage, 2 red damage, I believe. Okay, so we have Rebels assigning submissions. I'm expecting 3 here. 1 to move, but they might be trying to do a bit of a block. Yeah, 3 missions. There we go. Okay. So Riken's going to strike Corellia. Opportunity to score that objective card. Let's see what Melly plays. That's interesting. It could either be a rule by fear or a capture. Early capture first game is rough, but we do have false orders, so that will be cancelled. Wonder what that was. If it was a capture or a rule by fear, potentially a even worse card like propaganda. And we have an early strike on Sullust. So let's see how this one goes. Definitely seeing some stream lag. I'll see what I can do about that one. Seems to just lag when I move around. Okay, that's all right. Okay, AC card and preventing some hits. Yeah, this is gonna be rough for Melly playing the Empire. Um, not a good early start. Interested to see if she'll play the ATSC card to destroy some troops. I think she should save that card, but you never know. Ooh, and really bad rolls. I mean, most of them would have been prevented anyways, so we should be fine. But yeah, it's the escort card. Can't see how this ground combat goes. Okay, looks like they're just trying to sort things out. It should be okay. So this is a good opportunity to talk about the rules. When it comes to most things, if there was like a big reveal, like you looked under a player's mission, or they revealed it early, there are you can't take stuff back. You can't make a decision and go back on it. But a lot of it is up to player interpretation. If one player says, nope, this ruined the game, so I think they should forfeit, then that's what we're going to have to go with. If they say, let's continue playing on, that's all right as well. Yeah, as expected, the Rebels play deal 2 red damage, which is devastating. And Rebels still getting good rolls, which is not fun. Yeah, definitely a rough start for Empire here. I'll play back the stream later and to see what I can fix for next time. Um, hopefully, there's no background noise. Okay, I think it would be a good decision to retreat from here. Yeah, because rebels are stuck there, and she could reinforce later on, especially with Mandalorian. She does decide to stay, which is interesting. I mean, I think my rebellion skills are getting a little rusty, but I don't know. I think I would have retreated here. Let's see what they play. Cancel and deal it damage. Okay, yeah, and Rebel's still just getting good rolls. That that was a very bad turn for the Empire. Keep a TIE fighter early, but it's not going to do much. Yep, U-wing card. So just even more reinforcements for the Rebels. This is not looking good. And now I'm thinking that they have threatened the core, which really sucks. Yeah, they must have threatened the core because they didn't play the ground objective card. Yep, no objective cards played. Yep, this is not fun. I'm trying to think what I could do to prevent it. I think a fleet in Celeste is warranted, definitely, because it would cover Mustafar, it'd cover Corellia. But it is an odd setup to be sure, especially with the route setup. And you have to remember that the Empire was planning on playing a mission, and now they can't do that. So Rebels is just all about ruining the Empire's day, and the Empire just has to just go through with it. Stepping on rocks. I personally prefer Empire, but I can have a good Rebel game every now and again. So, what missions do you think? When Mothma build alliance, John could be infiltration. Yeah, infiltration. And Leia could definitely be sabotage because Mustafar is still open and there's no R&D. Okay. Empire moving to Seleucumai. Makes sense. The only question is, could they have delayed it? Um, I think delaying it would be risky, but we do still have to cover Kashyyyk and no saw for the. In fact, no immediate action cards other than false orders, which was a special. So interesting how that went. Route setup is definitely um, it definitely changes the game a lot because the Empire has something very powerful waiting for them, the Death Star. But it's going to take time to get there, and the Empire's going to have to take in a lot of punches. I mean, the core is most definitely under threat, and established trade relations. Um, yep, this game may just establish trade relations on the first round. Yeah, this is extremely lucky for the rebels to pull all this. Yeah, this is not going to be fun. Early strike, probably threaten the core, establish trade relations, and now another build alliance. I mean, this is not going well. It's just going to check one more time that the chat is working. Everything appears to be good. Definitely a good thing for the Empire there. I mean, there is a lot to think about. Rebels getting stuff on queue before the build phase has even started. Um, this is most definitely going to be a difficult game for the Empire. But hey, the reason we chose double elimination is everyone plays minimum of 2 games. Just keeps the tournament going and keeps everyone motivated. A couple of people ask questions in the Discord. Um, we can always change up the sides. So right now, it's more the table, the charts, all that. It's organized as if the sides don't matter. The sides we can change up at any point. If someone's playing Empire 3 times in a row, we will definitely ask them to switch to Rebels because this is not about playing fair side. This is about playing Star Wars Rebellion. But we're not going to be forceful on it. The reason we decided that players should decide which side they play first and foremost is so that you play a side that you're comfortable with. But if there's a dispute between players, especially when it comes to sides, then we will definitely intervene and fix it up. And yeah, build alliance. I mean, we expected that. And investment. Okay, so um, a block with Vader on investment. That is most definitely an interesting play. It could work, but I'm just not sure why you'd block. I just feel like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of speeders for the Rebels. 2 yellow circles early on, and a third with established trade relations. This is not good, but it does fail. So Leia's getting her ways again. I don't know. I just feel like it would have been better. Just guarantee block Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk. Okay, so I'm guessing this will be a heavy Imperial mission turn. Whatever Vader was on last time, I'm hoping it was propaganda for the Empire sake. But I don't think propaganda can even save the Empire now. Um, this is definitely rough. Rebel loyalty spread all across the galaxy on turn 1. Just some finishing touches on the map. Uh, Definitely use the map if you're an Imperial player. It helps a lot to keep things organized, especially compared to playing the game in person. And just a heavy rebel build queue to say the least. I mean, there are Moncals, there are speeders on the way, there are troops, there are X-wings, there are Y-wings. I mean, this isn't fun for the Empire. Now we haven't done the Imperial build queue yet, um, but I'm not thinking it's going to look any better. Fortunately. Okay, so the rebels recruited Lando. Now Lando is an interesting one. I think that his um, I believe it's independent operation, which removes all units, ground units from a subjugated system. That card is very, very broken. I've lost many games just to that card alone. So Lando could definitely. I think his other card is. It's pretty decent. I don't think it's as good as independent operation, but let's see who the Empire recruits. And Piet early on. Now, Piet obviously good space, and right now you do need good space tactic values, especially considering the rebels. Their highest right now is 2 space, so the Empire definitely has a pretty good advantage early on in tactic values. Now, Piet's card, no retreat, that's one of them, and um, no retreat is I'd say pretty good, especially if you're not don't have interdictors. Um, I definitely like interdictors a lot more than I should. I think that they help the Empire a lot, but sometimes a Superstar Destroyer is just what you need. Right now, early R&D pulling a Superstar Destroyer could definitely help the Empire. But again, R&D is always a gamble. You could get nothing, or you could get something. Like Oversea Project right now would not be helpful to the Empire. It won't work on the Death Star because you can't deploy in a remote system unless there's a shield bunker. Um, I'm not sure if it can work if on the Death Star. Though. I think it can. Um, so that's one of the many project cards that you pull right now. You just wasted a leader to really pull nothing. No sabotage on the board, which is good, but then again, loyalty just all over the place. I mean, you're not covering everything in this turn. I mean, Kashyyyk move, Kato, but yep, Kashyyyk is just blocked. Because the Y Wing would one shot the AC, almost guaranteed. There's a chance, but it's pretty much guaranteed. And a early shield bunker for the Empire. Okay, definitely interesting. Rebels having just an absolutely amazing early game. I'm not even gonna think about where the base is because it could be in so many spots and guessing without being able to see the probe map and the probe cars and all the tools that the Empire has. It's yeah, it could be from Endor to Rylov. Could definitely see Yavin. I said I wasn't going to talk about the base. Here I am talking about the base. The base could definitely be Yavin. Because again, early strike. There is a shield bunker on Mandalore though, which the shield bunker card is to heal 3 damage from a ship. But the Y wing isn't like the plan might have been to attack with the Y wing, kill the AC, and not worry about it. But I feel like the plan is more of just defend Kashyyyk. Just one Y wing. That's what I hate about the Rebels. They slap down one unit, and it can completely screw up the game for the Empire. RY's in the chat. Yeah. Um, RY's. Let's talk about it. He hosted this tournament. He came up with this. Him and PiotrB. They came up with this. I kind of just chipped in at the end. Made the bracket. Helped organize a bit. Helped select the format. But definitely full credit to them with coming up with this. I was not expecting a Rebellion tournament, especially after so long. But it's looking like this one's going to be better than ever. Lots of missions for the Rebels, standard. I'm more interested in what the Empire is going to play because um, they're going to need some really good missions to counteract established trade relations first turn. Established trade relations first turn is absolutely brutal for the Empire. It can just ruin games. Yeah, you can also see Piotr in the chat as well. Yeah, I believe I can pull up comments. Here, let me try that. Oh, there you go. Okay. Um, I really do not see what the Empire will do here. I mean, threaten the core early on. I forgot to mention that. One reputation for the rebels right away, and they have this massive fleet just sitting on Corellia with reinforcements coming from Kato. This can definitely just ruin the game for them. I mean, overall, the Imperial spread is pretty good, but again, that Y wing in Kashyyyk, it's it's just stopping the Gazanti or the AC from covering it. So, and Kashyyyk is always difficult to cover because of the Wookiee Uprising card, which just destroys 4 health worth of Imperial units. Obviously, I don't think that the Rebels have it because they don't have any 3/5 leaders, and it wouldn't be worth it wasting so many leaders on one mission. But you got to think about everything as Empire. Okay, interesting. One mission for Empire, probably just an R&D. Nothing too special. Vader was most likely on either rule by fear or capture early on. These missions are not working out. I mean, with Tarkin, it can always be fear will keep them in line, which is just always a game changer. But the rebels, you could just see they're surrounding the Empire. Um, I know that hello there, the rebel player is just praying for forgetting the name of the card now, but the one where you siege Coruscant, which gives 2 reputation for every single turn that you're there when you play the card. So that card is just absolutely brutal. Obviously, they're not going to get to it this early on unless they're infiltrating every single turn, which John is probably on infiltration. I wonder if Empire's thinking about blocking it. Again, for those of you just tuning in, I should be able to make it through most of the match, but like in about hour 20, 2 hours, I need to go. So, but again, all the matches will be posted online. All the results will be there. Join the Discord in the description. Empire covering Megiddo. That's definitely interesting. Sorry, I was muted for a couple seconds. Um, just saying how it was interesting that the rebels move out of Kashyyyk, move the Y wing out of Kashyyyk. It's definitely interesting. But either way, um, rebels not going for, or Empire not going for Kashyyyk. Now they've left the bunker in Mandalore, which goes back to what I was talking about before with destroy 3 health with Imperial units. The bunker counts as an Imperial unit. So that's definitely a risk. I mean, the chances of them getting threatened the core and destroy 3 health with Imperial units this early on is extremely unlikely. But again, with Empire, you just got to think about everything. You got to think about all the possibilities. John infiltrating in Sullust. Okay. Makes sense. Rebels fishing through the objective deck. I mean, next turn they're into the level twos, which level twos is, I believe, where um, the Coruscant objective card is for the 2 reputation. Empire moving to Geonosis. From Utapau. Definitely interesting. The Rhodia fleet needs to be re-audited. As Empire, there are a couple places where your fleet should always be stationed. You need a Geonosis fleet, you need a Todaria fleet, you need a Mandalore fleet, and you need a Sauce fleet. That's the most opportune place where you can cover when you find the Rebel base. Especially in the later game. Right now, early on, it's okay. But as Empire, you need to group your fleets up. The alliance with Mon Mothma in Corellia. Yep, definitely a good play. Because next turn there's just gonna be loyalty there. But more importantly, it knocks out the Imperial loyalty, and they're not gonna play any unless Tarkin is, of course, on Rule by Fear. But again, the issue is Leia's back to block. Whatever Tarkin's on. If Tarkin's on R&D, good. Leia was wasted. There are no units on the board which Leia could move, but again, just wasted Leia. I'll see if they move the fleet from Rodeo over to Malster. I think it could be a decent idea. I think you do leave either leave a troop or just flip it and blockade because that area is covered. Like the rebels are not getting back. So that's one of the many good tactics. You don't have to leave as Empire. You don't have to leave every single system you pass by subjugated because that makes it very, very easy for the rebels to score objective cards. By doing that, system's still blockaded. Rebels can't do hidden fleet stuff into there. And this is secure. I mean, you're not going to have to deploy a Naboo 9 times out of 10. Leia just hanging in Utapau. Now let's see what Tarkin was on. If it's R&D, he wouldn't be flying over Utapau because it can only be played in loyal systems. It is R&D. Yeah, okay. Played in Coruscant. Again, doesn't matter where you play R&D this turn. I mean, it could slightly because Riken could definitely be on Sabotage. So, yeah, maybe Mustafar was a good switch because Sabotage and Coruscant at this point, Coruscant is not looking too hot, whereas Mustafar still provides decent production. Let's see what Riken was on. What do you mean? Which one is which? Otherwise, Melly is playing Empire, and Hello There is playing Rebels. Okay, let me put it on screen. This was a bit of a rush stream, believe it or not. Planning on doing some polls on future ones, like who's going to win. What do you think about this play? But that's all right. This stream will be available as a VOD to watch, to play back. All the games that are recorded should be able to view after they're live. Vader moving to Seleucami, or from Seleucami to Mon Cal. Makes sense. Cover the planet. the board is looking most interesting. I mean, the Empire has made good efforts to clean up, but there is just rebel loyalty all over the place. Bespin, Cato, Kashyyyk, threat of Karelia, and obviously the threat of the fleet in Alderaan. I mean, this is not going well at all. And no missions other than the starter missions played by Empire, which is definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Perhaps just not good missions. Sometimes Rebellion just goes like this. You just don't get good missions. Oh, there is Wombat. In the chat. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so selecting leaders. Rebels, good leaders starting off. I mean, early Lando. I just Lando in general just can be good. His independent operation is definitely better early game. And May Dean is also brutal. His cards that just destroy health worth of Imperial units. I think one of them is destroy 3 health worth of Imperial units, and another one is -1 health to all units in the system. So definitely not easy. Not easy game for the Empire. Krennic's good, especially to see the top um, 3 objective cards. One tip you can use is, and this doesn't apply here because all of them are level 2, but if there's a level 1, you can put the level 1 in between, so it'd be 2, 1, 2, and then you can see which one the rebels picked. I haven't had the opportunity to use that in many games, but definitely something to keep in mind. Just deploying some units, reinforcing. Uh, yeah, Empire just has brutal deployment. It's just not good. Just not looking good. Death Star coming out, but I'm not sure how much use the Death Star can be. That whole region of the galaxy is pretty secure, other than the south. But I doubt the rebels um, put the base in the south because it's just so close to the Death Star. It just doesn't make sense to do that. Let me just check the audio one more time. Yep, audio's looking good. A bit of stream delay, but I mean, that's expected. Again, for anyone just tuning in, this is game 1 of the tournament. I luckily have enough time to cast most of it. Combat Wombat, or Star Wars Rebellion in an hour. His channel is linked in the description. He'll also be casting Spoonwise or R-Wise. He said he would be casting. We don't have his channel yet. And we're inviting anyone in the Discord who wants to record a video, record a game. Yeah, definitely go for it. Again, the link to the Discord is in the description. Lots of missions for Rebels, as expected. made Dean with an early play in my Guido. Didn't quite catch that. That's interesting. I mean, it's not good for the Empire. I've said it like 30 times, but it's not good. My Guido, that was one of the sectors that was looking decent. Now it's gone. The rebels just turn everything upside down for the Empire. The only thing they have going for them is an early Death Star and potentially these next few missions, which it looks like there is a lot of them. Yeah, 4 missions. 4 missions. That's 2/3 of the leaders going off. Hopefully, some good cards for the Empire. As an Imperial player, I can definitely feel the pain of this round. Okay, so Empire pulls back on a mission. Makes sense. I mean, so many leaders on missions early on for the Empire is unorthodox, but right now this board is unorthodox times to be sure. Um, just so many rebels, so some changes have to be made. Let's see what Vader's doing. Rule by fear. Makes sense. You got to secure that region. Let's see the dice roll. Rebels going in with Leia. Makes sense. Yeah, just all around good rolls for the Rebels. That is just brutal. Nothing but brutal. And I don't think these action cards are um, doing too much for Empire. I mean, Rebels still have 2, but they've played way more. I mean, Krennic's is an immediate, so you're playing it no matter what. That, I mean, 2 starting action cards haven't been played for Empire. Both of the ones that they've start with have been played. Hopefully, it's not like terrible, like Vader and track them. Vader's card is when a rebel leader is rescued, you can capture the leader who tried to rescue. But that card is just so difficult to pull off. Definitely check out Rebellion in an Hour, Wombat's video on ranking Imperial cards. Good way to just look at them. Action cards, recruitment cards, all that. Into about the first hour of recording. Um, Definitely an interesting match. This is definitely a good start to the tournament. Good start as a good match. I mean, route setup first game, not normal to say the least. Rebel loyalty all over the board. Established trade relations first turn. Just not good stuff. Just not good. You can see some fun jokes between 2 contestants. 4 speeders in the base, though. He's right. Hello there is right. 4 speeders in the base early on. Not good for the Empire. Rebellion games can end in 10 minutes. You put the base in Alderaan, they move a massive fleet from Coruscant to Alderaan. Game over. It's much harder for the rebels to pull off a victory so early. I mean, this is definitely looking bad for the Empire, but especially with a contingency plan. Wow, and Hello there gets Lando. So no, just all around not great missions for Empire and great missions for rebels. Just think about his decision. Okay. and Lando probably be being played on uh, Build Alliance, but could be anything. Could be sabotage, infiltration. I mean, another infiltration would definitely throw off the Empire a lot off their game, and the Rebels will just have every objective card that they need. Okay, Lando sabotage in Bothwy. Not sure if that was the best play. Uh, yeah, because Empire blocks him. So that was not a block. Okay, maybe some lag on both players' sides. Um, I still don't think that was a great play. I think it'd be better to infiltrate. Mixes it up for the rebels and just gives them more objective cards. I mean, they are already just at the level 2s. But then again, Lord Vader's orders, search through the top 3 cards of the objective decks, could definitely mess things up. A little bit of disappointed from our rebel players. Um, I think the luck is definitely turning around for Melly, but I mean, it's still looking pretty rough. I mean, I think she's been holding up pretty well. I think that for the first game, this has been going pretty well. Or she's been holding up pretty well. Definitely going very well for Rebels. If I should really, I should really try putting up a poll. Okay. Um, give me 1 second. I'll try that. Okay, it looks like that'll be difficult to work out, but I'm sure we'll figure something out next round. Okay, so I just missed a lot. Rule by fear and propaganda, turning things around for the um turning things around for the Empire, definitely. That definitely solves some issues. I mean, if you're looking at the board right now, it's looking a lot better than it was last turn. I mean, Ord's still loyal. Bespin's been covered. Um, Still massive fleet in Alderaan. Definitely gonna have to do something about that. Maybe send the Death Star down there. But then again, we don't know what their probe cards look like. The Empire could have Andor, Hoth, and Yavin as their first 3 probes, which definitely changes how the game could look. You just never know. Next thing you know, they get a lucky Yularen. Know that the base is in Dantooine because they have the probes. Um, Rebels do some send troops somewhere else out of the base, and game over. I mean, with Stars Rebellion, things could turn around instantly, instantly. So definitely worth playing every single game all the way through the end, and it's a good learning experience. One of the reasons we play on TTS is it's a lot faster. It does cost money to buy it. I think it's like 14 Canadian, but I mean, it improves the game speed by a lot. There's no setup requirement. There's no shuffling the cards. Um, so if you love Rebellion and haven't already, definitely pick up a copy of TTS. This is not sponsored, by the way. Okay. Um, Secret Facility. I believe that should have been played earlier, as it's an immediate. But what am I saying? Oh my goodness. They just recruited Krennic's Finest, the Death Trooper. Good leader, especially to have multiple fists on the field. Now that probe card could be anything, but Hidden Facility or Secret Facility can be very, very good. Now, not good news for the Empire, at least, is Chewie. Chewie on the Rebel side now threatens Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk is just, if they have Wookiee Uprising, that whole fleet is just gone. There's nothing to reinforce. They have enough problems in Alderaan. It's just not good. Death Star coming out this turn, though, so that's a plus. But Mon Cal's on the queue. Or Mon Cal's on the board. Nebulon's on the queue. Interesting idea to put a turret on the queue as well instead of a speeder, but they are definitely running low. Which having the rebels running low on speeders is never a good sign. That's just not good. The rebels will just bunker up wherever the base is and hold it down. I mean, the rebels, when you play rebels, you have to expect to move your base. But the Empire is just so disorganized right now. No fault of their own. Just the rebel cards have just been absolutely brutal. And even with two of the best cards for that the Empire have, Fear will keep them in line, and Imperial Propaganda, still the game isn't looking great because established trade relations is brutal. And they didn't even play established trade relations in Utapau or Corellia. So they just have one Mon Cal. They just did it to get more speeders. I didn't talk about that play, but definitely interesting. Again, I don't know what missions they have. I don't know what their next plans could be. So me commentating, just from my perspective. Just from my perspective. If you want to get the perspective of players actually playing the game, hopefully I'll start posting a bit more. But definitely look at Wombat or Doob's channel. I should post. I have Wombat in the description. I'll post Doob's for the next stream. Amazing players, far better than me, I'd say. So I guess while we're doing the deployment, I can talk about the format. Best of threes are coming later. So best of three will be in the third round for the upper bracket, and best of three will be in the fourth round, I believe, for the lower bracket, just to keep things going so we're not playing until the end of 2025. If we keep the schedule that we have right now posted in Discord, the tournament should end in early to mid-August. But that's obviously accounting that everybody matches up. So far, it's been going great. This is 1 day later. 1 day after we post the schedule, this game is happening. So big shout out to Hello and Mellymega. Props to them setting up the game so early. Definitely having to think about this deployment, and this deployment is important. There are rebels everywhere, lots of stormtroopers, another bunker, which is interesting. Gazanti, tank, and some attire. So definitely something to think about. But Y-Wing and Ord, again, Y-Wings, if they haven't played the card yet, which I believe they haven't, the Y-Wing deal 2 red damage card is just, it's brutal. It's just brutal. It stopped the AC Gazanti. I like to call them Gazantis. It's more canon, if you will. But the ACs, it stops them. It stops them from being able to. When the Y-Wing was in Kashyyyk, the Empire couldn't move there. And right now they have a fleet situated in Alderaan, and that fleet can go crush anything in the area. Mandalore, gone. Kashyyyk, gone. And Coruscant, more importantly, also gone. If they pull siege Coruscant, whichever objective you need to siege Coruscant, it may just be game over for the Empire. Right now, they are counting on basically moving the capital of the galaxy to Dagobah. They'll pay a visit to Yoda. Empire starting their deployment. Just got a comment. I'll put it up on screen. Um, Heart of the Empire. Yes, thank you for the reminder. That's the name of the card. Um, if Heart of the Empire is not in the deck, it definitely makes it a lot better for the Empire. Because, I mean, Heart of the Empire could just ruin the game or save the game, depending on whose side you're on. Um, so, Heart of the Empire is definitely what the rebels are searching for. But they didn't do infiltration 2 times with Lando's mission. So could definitely be interesting. Maybe there is no Heart of the Empire. I mean, the Empire has a 3 in 5 chance of knowing if there's a heart in the Empire because of Krennic's Lord Vader's orders, Krennic's card. So if Melly saw Heart of the Empire, it is probably over. But then again, as Cammy said, if there isn't Heart of the Empire, then this game is definitely still going on. Just noticed I don't have sound turned on for TTS. If you guys want sound for next time, I think I can work that in. But yeah, no sound for now, which I think it's okay. Some people, when they're streaming, they turn on sound for TTS. Sometimes they don't. So I think it should be fine. One thing is background music. I think the intro was pretty hype. Yeah, you can look up the chat previously, but background music right now, I could work that in. So if that's something you guys want, I can definitely do that. Okay, let's look at the missions. 3 rebel leaders off. Unorthodox, not normal. Definitely planning something not great. Leia most likely to block Chewie and Lando. Definitely striking something, and they do have a level 2 objective card, and this is just not looking good. 4 missions for the Empire. That's pretty standard, especially now with still chaos across the galaxy. But maybe 4 missions is too many. But again, I don't know because I don't know what cards they have. I don't know what probes they have. But the rebel base is definitely looking stacked with rebel units. Not rebel fleets, but again, to destroy the rebel base to win the game for the Empire, you've got to destroy all ground units and all space units. So it's difficult. Definitely difficult. That's why tip if you're moving ground units out of the base, or you suspect that the Empire might do a planetary conquest, that's Veer's card. Keep a space unit. Just it's not worth the risk not having a space unit. Didn't catch on to that one. Cut supply lines was played. I mean, there are rebel units across the galaxy. There are sabotage markers, so it makes sense. Not good. Number 1 rule for Empire is prevent rebel objective cards from being played because that's how you lose the game. Just more rebel objective cards being played, the less likely you're going to win because you have less time, especially tier 1s. But this has just been a terrible start for the Empire. Okay, Lando going into Mandalore. Let's see how many units he brings in. Okay, pretty much the whole fleet. Yeah, pretty much just the whole fleet, leaving 1 trooper in Alderaan. Okay, well, I mean, if they score an objective card here, uh, the destroy 3 health with of ground units, that would not be good. Just another thing to add to the not good list for the Empire. Gazanti card, AC card has been played, but I don't think even it can help out right now, especially since it's good to support fighters, but there aren't any fighters. So let's see what tactic cards they play. Empire probably just deal a damage or prevent 2 red hits. I mean, they're probably not going to make it out of here. Yeah. Interesting, actually. That might be. It's actually a pretty good idea. That's actually a pretty good idea. Stumble on my words there. Remove 2 damage. Now, that is an absolutely disgusting roll from the Rebels. 5 hits. Yeah. The AC is dying. Wow, this has just been a combination of good mission cards for the Rebels, decent mission cards for the Empire, especially in the turn 2 or 3, I think it was, where they played Propaganda and Rule by Fear. But again, it has just not been working out. The dice rolls are not working. Sabotage went through a couple times. Now this combats didn't go particularly well for the Empire. I mean, they always had the odds stack against them in every combat so far, but still could have gone better. Destroying rebel units off the board, another one of the big rules. Let's see if they score an objective card out of this combat. Definitely possibility. I think it's happening we're happening in Mandalore, so no subjugation objective cards. Just working out some of the rules between each other. Yes, I believe it is. It stays alive. We play a card next turn. I'll just put that in chat. Again, moderation, not much on our side, just to clean up any disputes, just to keep the games running. We'd like to stream every game. Streaming the first one was definitely good. I mean, this has been an interesting game to watch for sure. But yeah, again, we'll try to stream every single game that we can. But sometimes there won't be a moderator available. Which, if so, it'll be mostly up to the players to decide. Which we like to give the players control, anyways, because again, there is no reward for this. This is completely just for fun. We just want everyone to have fun, and there are a lot of new faces in this tournament. I mean, I for one wasn't playing Rebellion, wasn't into it in 2022. I picked it up, I think, 23, 24. So lots of new players. It's definitely fun to watch. And it's great to see the community grow. So, Rebels retreat from Mandalore and go to Ord. Just they're hovering around Coruscant. I mean, it's clear they moved from Corellia to Alderaan to Ord. They're hovering around Coruscant. They're hoping for it, and there it is, crippling blow. I was talking about a whole game, and it popped up 3 health worth of Imperial ground units. The bunker counts as Imperial ground units, so that's just another one of the many objective cards that they will play this turn or this game. Yep, it's not fun. Thinking about revealing the probe card right now to place a bunker and a trooper. Makes sense. The bunker's dead, so you always have the ability to deploy other bunkers. So bunker supply is not an issue. Megiddo. Now that's a good move because now they can deploy there. Not sure how much they can deploy because there is a pretty big ground fleet. But then again, the ground units in Ord aren't that great. But if you blockade it, it's not going to matter anyways. But bunker can have some good cards, especially if they haven't played the ground bunker card yet. Krennic bring a Gazanti. Um, to Dantooine. Interesting. Interesting to be sure. Running away from the fleet and Ord and moving everything. Okay. Unconventional to say the least, but um, perhaps perhaps that might just be the plan. Not sure. Not sure. Doing some things with the probe map, so they could be planning anything out. Melly could be planning anything out. But double elimination ensures that every single game that goes by, uh, you're gonna have a second chance. So it just keeps everyone going. So even if you have a rough game, you can still play again. So next week will be round 2. We put some of the that's the one part that wasn't random with the matchmaking. We put some of the top seed players. Um, we decided together, Combat Wombat, Spoonwise, myself, and PiotrB. We decided who would consider better. But that's going off other tournaments, games that we played with them. So obviously, not everyone in round 2 was put in top seed, so we had to put a couple people in there. But round 2 will be from the winners of round 1 and a couple players that haven't gone yet. After round 2, we'll move on to the lower round 1, which will be um, just as many games. Upper bracket round 2 and lower bracket round 1 is going to be just as many games. So lots of games to cover to be sure, but that's just part of the tournament. It'll definitely ease out as we get through the upper and lower brackets. Again, you can join the Discord. The links are under the description box below. Everything is listed there. All the schedules of the games. We made a server where we organize when everyone decides to play their games. We let them know who's going to be streaming, what the plan is, who's going to be hosting the game. So definitely join if you haven't already. Caught a bit of a cold recently, so not on my best game. Okay, infiltration makes sense. Searching for that Heart of the Empire makes sense. If they have Heart of the Empire, if the rebels have Heart of the Empire, I think it is pretty much game over. It's a blunt way to put it, but unfortunately, that's the only way I see it happening. And yes, the rebels' objective cards this game just absolutely amazing. There's no other way to put it. I mean, they've played every single objective card other than that level 2 that's in their hand right now. That is most definitely not normal. There are supposed to be plenty of bad objective cards in the deck, to be frank, and rebels just got lucky. Of course, there's plenty of skill involved. This game is all about how you use luck to your advantage. You get cards and you do stuff with them to help you win the game. So definitely good plays from Hello there. Definitely good plays from Mellymega. And base defense, I believe. Yep, base defense, just making it even more difficult to. I mean, the rebel base right now is impenetrable. The ground force is absolutely impenetrable. The space definitely could give the Empire a run for its money. Depends on where the base is. Death Star is moving down to reinforce Coruscant. I mean, it has to. There's no choice. If rebels draw Heart of the Empire, which they could already, it's game over. You have to defend Coruscant. There's no other way to put it. We have a Gazanti in Endor, just checking out Hoth and Endor. I don't think it would be there, but definitely possibility. Definitely possibility. Especially since I'm sure Hello there knew that the fleet is moving down towards the Death Star is going to be moving down towards Coruscant because they had this whole strike planned out. Threaten the Core was the first card the Rebels drew. And again, Rogue Squadron Raid. Yep. Just messing more stuff up for the Empire. Yeah, this has not been an easy game, to say the least. It's been pretty rough. Not to mention loyalty in Corellia. Um, that is something that happened and just causing more issues for the Empire. I mean, this has been nothing but a hard game to play. I think if you gave some of the best Imperial players in the world this start, very few could pull off a win, and you would need some of the best cards. And Rebels have to get just not good cards. I mean, it's turn 4, and 3 tier 1 objective cards have been scored. That's just one way of putting it. It's not good. Not good to say the least. Nevertheless, an interesting game. Looking forward to seeing more from both of these players. Hang. Okay. Interesting. So Palpy's just hanging out in Magito. Perhaps they're pulling that back. Okay, not sure what they're thinking here, but because killing Palpy is definitely an option with the bunker there. So definitely interesting. And that was Lando's card. Undercover. I always forget the name of that card, but it's also just a good card. I don't think it's as good as Independent Operation, but still most definitely good. There's just so many factors you have to worry about as playing the Empire. So many different objective cards, so many different mission cards, so many different action cards. It's just difficult. Okay, where will Chewie go? Let's see. Chewie moving the fleet to Coruscant. Guys, everyone listening, I think our worst fears may have come true. I think the heart of the Empire is under siege. I don't see any other reason to move there because the Death Star is coming over. It will take a couple turns to get there, but there's no other reason to move there. If that is true, that the rebels have heart of the Empire, this this has just been a game of good rebel objective cards to say the least. Low troops though for the rebels, and one of them is a vanguard. So I they did Empire did play support of the 501st. I like to save that card for situations like this because it can definitely help out. Um, Rebels dealing a damage. Yep, they need to win this combat. Rebels need to win this combat. This is a very much so all or nothing combat. Oh my goodness. Wow. All of the rebel all the rebels shot. All the rebels shot and they all got hits. I mean, this is just kind of painful to watch, I'm afraid. Um wow, just 3 hits early on. Good plays from the rebels, but um yep, Coruscant's under siege. Coruscant is under siege, and I'm guessing Heart of the Empire is coming soon. No other way to put it. Okay, R&D makes sense. I mean, at this point, you got to take everything you can get. Turn 4, um, 3 rebel objective cards still. Definitely going to change after Heart of the Empire. That I really do hate that card. I mean, it makes sense um, that a card like that exists. I mean, to protect Coruscant. Otherwise, Coruscant is uh, just any other planet with guaranteed Imperial loyalty and a triangle sitting there. So it makes sense that that card exists. But to pull that card as well as all those other objective cards, it's just hard to take in. But I didn't say heart of the Empire. Heart of the Empire. Okay. We'll definitely see what cards the Empire has taken for their project cards. Moving the time marker, turn 5. Let's see if the Rebels play any objective cards. I mean, I don't see why you strike Coruscant if you don't have, or at least know that you have Heart of the Empire. I don't see the reason to do it. Because the Death Star's coming. I mean, perhaps to bait out the Death Star, it's a chance. A slim one, but a chance. Just more reinforcements for the base. It's, yep, got a trooper and a turret. I believe that, just checking. Yeah, they're not completely capped out on speeders. They have 5 speeders, so the cap is 6. But still, just so many rebel units. And the pulls for leaders, they haven't been very useful. I mean, hidden facility or secret facility, definitely good. Definitely good. You can see, even though they're commented on the cards, yeah, he has just had absolutely amazing cards this turn. This game, it's difficult. Yeah, I believe they recruited Obi-Wan. Depends on which card you have. I mean, he's incapturable leader, just not worth the risk if you're playing. Actually, it has to be the reputation card because they recruited Lando with this card undercover. So, unless I missed something, I believe that they have the Obi-Wan. If you capture him, lose a reputation card. Okay, General Veers. His men are going to need to be prepared. Star Wars reference. Let's see. Comment from R-Wise. I just come up on screen. I definitely agree. I don't like route setup. I don't like it as Empire. I don't like it as Rebels. I mean, that's why we gave them the choice of choosing either route setup, or it's up to them. But route setup can be chosen in if they don't have Silicon. But sometimes just knowing how the setup works, knowing how to play the game with your specific setup, it can turn the game around. I mean, for me, having the Death Star unavailable for 3 turns seems absolutely brutal, even with the Rebels getting so many less units. But again, this game was just unavoidable with the objectives, with the missions. No Heart of the Empire. No Heart of the Empire played, but it's still definitely a possibility. For the next turn, there's no way of the Empire stopping Heart of the Empire unless, I believe, Planetary Conquest just cleans out the ground units in Coruscant. Yeah, R-Y is talking about how even though Empire has Seleucami, sometimes it's just easier to give them 2 Monkels. Definitely consider it. Again, it's all based on the mission. It's all based on the objective cards. Generally, in the tournament, I would go for route setup because it's slightly better. But if you're better with playing base setup, and you're okay with giving the rebels to monk house, go for it. Go for it. Just play what you're best at. Okay. Looks like we're about an hour 30-ish into recording. Okay, hold on. Okay. Doubling up on with Taj and Krennic. I think we have a meme in the server. Um, it's like lies, deception. What Sagar said um, with Plan the Assault. Uh, I mean, I don't think you put 2 leaders on that. Definitely some lies and deception, but Chewy's back to block. So as soon as you play Veers, I mean, 2 fist leaders on 2 separate missions. Clearly, this round's going to be interesting. Okay. Um, just working some things out between them. I did not mean to press that, not to worry. Tarkin moving to Alderaan. Interesting. They got infiltration from the rebels first turn. Makes sense. They haven't been playing rat mode, so they have not been seeing the probe cards, but I don't think rebels are planning on moving the base anytime soon anyway. Tarkin just cleaning up Alderaan. What's left of the rebel presence there. I'm guessing a move to Corellia is warranted and en route. That's with the Death Star, presumably. Let's see what cards they play. Okay, bunker or flip the combat, and preventing some hits. Interesting to say the least. I mean, I think the Empire's played a lot of their decent cards, so there isn't many options. But hey, they take Alderaan, so good on them. The stream just lags so much when I move around, or like if I move slowly, it's fine. But that's odd. Okay, ATSC card coming out. Not to use the ATSC because that's just a stormtrooper. Desperate times call for desperate measures, to be sure. Yep, this is just. And Empire doesn't even get all around. So, difficult game. Tough game. Didn't talk about Mon Mothma and Leia being on the same mission. That is concerning to say the least. Um, I just don't even want to imagine if they could be on Public Uprising, sure, but I don't understand why you put Mon Mothma and Leia on one card. Guess we'll just have to see. Having a good think about this one makes sense. I mean, this game is definitely lying in the hands of the next couple of moves. Make or break type of thing. Okay, Piet going to Mandalore. It looks like that makes sense. Like I said early on, group the fleets. Go to Mandalore, go to Todaria, go to Geonosis, and go to Sauce. That's just the general grouping. Again, it's all based on the probe cards as well. If you have Yavin and Dathomir, no point. No point. This combat, simple. Just kill a dude. More so if the rebels can kill somebody, which perfectly possible. Okay. Playing an additional card there, probably to cycle through all the tactic cards. I mean, always good to get that back. Yeah, just a couple nitpicks, just how it works. You gotta, yeah, there we go. Okay. Um, yeah, definitely a difficult game. It is currently um round 5, almost halfway round 5 through round 5. Um, been a difficult game for the Empire, to say the least. No other way to put it. And that is just a covert ops. I mean, just cycling through more again. Rebels get Heart of the Empire. It's just going to be a tough game. I mean, at this point, they know if they have Heart of the Empire or not. It's pretty clear. Yeah, they draw that card. So they either have Heart of the Empire or don't have it. It's that simple. If they do have it, I think the game might be over because this has just been so many objective cards scored that I don't think the Empire can recover from this one. Just gonna put it plain and simple. Vader moving back to Megiddo, or not? Vader moving to Hoth. Okay. Um. Unfortunately, what this tells us is that Mellymega is not sure about Hoth. They don't have the pro card for Hoth because why else would you move there other than to cover it? Megiddo makes sense. Reinforce it again. There are no ground units, so nothing to worry about there. But the Guzanti will most likely die. Maybe this move could have been played later. There are 3 missions still on the table, one of which 2 leaders are assigned to. Not normal, but let's see. Let's see what they work out here. Rebels playing Hit and Run. Good card. Um, good card. Yeah. So this is round 1, game 1 between Melody and Hello there, and yes, I do appreciate the support from Rwise. But again, none of this would be here if it weren't for Rwise and PiotrB, because this tournament was organized by the three of us with help from Wombat. But again, it's just been fun organizing all this. And commenting this. I mean, this has been a fun game to watch, to say the least. Yeah, let's just flip that. So, quick reminder: we for regarding streaming and so on. As you can see, I can't see any of the cards. I can't interact with anything. I just provide some guidance when necessary, like a dice was rolled 2 times, or player revealed the mission, but they don't want to play that mission. Just simple things like that. We're not going to allow streamers or spectators. We're not going to allow streamers to view other players' cards. Just plain and simple. We're not going to allow anyone to be in the game who isn't streaming, because obviously more people watching the stream is better. And again, we don't want crowding, slowing down the game for everyone in the server. We already have lag issues right now. Okay, build alliance. Just not great. I remember when Udapau was occupied. Now it's not. It's been a rough game. Been a rough game, to say the least. Let's see. Yeah, just there's so many things that you can do with GTS, like locking units. There are many controls they have to learn. Nothing tells you any of the controls, especially when it comes to Rebellion. I recommend, there are plenty of videos on there. Wombat has posted just so many videos, just explaining the game. He's been here for a while in the Rebellion community. I've only a year or two ago joined, so if you're looking for guidance with games, definitely go to him. And in the Discord, if you haven't joined, said this many times, join. There's plenty of people, plenty of games. You'll get used to it. Okay, Superstar Destroyer. Superstar Destroyer, good. That's why they have 2 leaders on there, which makes absolute sense. As Superstar Destroyer on turn 3, there's no guarantee that that's going to come out. I'm sorry, there's just no guarantee that it's going to come out. So 2 leaders on it. Risky play, but it might be necessary at this point. I don't know how close we are to finding the base. I don't know what probe cards we have. Rylos, Tatooine haven't been touched. Nalhada haven't been touched. Definitely a lot of coverage in the hot region, with Kessel and Toydaria being loyal, which if the system with the rebel base turns loyal, the rebels have to reveal it. I guess someone snitches about the base. A little skirmish here. Nothing compared to a lot of the combats that we've had previously, but still not necessary one. Okay, so they were on Public Uprising, like I said. I guess they just put Leia on there for tactic values, but I don't understand why you do that, because another tip, if you have, for example, Mon Mothma in the system, but there's no other leaders with tactic values, you can bring one from the pool. If you're ever in a combat and there's no leader with tactic values, none of your leaders with tactic values, you can bring one in. That's just the rule. So I don't see why you wouldn't just keep Leia back, but again, it doesn't change much in this. Leia's still just going to help out slightly with her 1 and 1. 1 space, 1 ground. Bare minimum. But it gets the job done and liberates Besson. Now, that could score an objective card. Could very well so. Yep. Even Melly knew it. It's just brutal. Just a brutal game to watch. maybe I title it somewhat different. I'll keep the formats for now, um, with the titles of the videos. Maybe I'll change the VODs later. Okay, things are heating up. Planetary Conquest in Ilum, just completely going all the way. Is the base there? No blockage. Subversion ain't gonna help here, because Riken would have to roll up 2, which is impossible. And why would you put Riken on Subversion? So this is looking up to be very, very interesting, and that could very much be the base. And it's the base. Okay, this is the moment. Put in your calendars. Strike on the base with Veers leading it. Now, Veers probably dead. Probably gonna die. At least we know the base is there. Now, the Rebels have not been planning to move the base. There has not been any rapid mobilization to look at the cards. Now, of course, with base deck, Rebels could always have can always search through the probe deck and search through the Imperial player's probe hands. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of that card, but always a threat. Can tell I'm a bit rusty. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Okay. I mean, this combat is all about dealing damage. They play the 8 Empires, reset all the tactics cards. Flip the combat isn't going to be very useful here because they could the Empire could very well die on this turn. That simple. Could very well die on this turn. Piet blocks move in which system? Sorry, hold on. Yeah, Mandalore. What units did they move out of Mandalore? I didn't catch that. Right now, the strike is happening on Ilum with Planetary Conquest, no? Piet blocks move out of Mandalore. What moved from Mandalore? The Gazanti, perhaps? Was Piet there before? I'm not sure. Again, a lot of the rules are up to the players. If and I recommend be strict with the rules if you're playing. But if they didn't catch that, I'm not going to go back and remind them of that because that's just going to slow the game down. I think Rebels have this game. I mean, look how many deaths they're rolling. To be clear, I mean, Empire is just Melly is having a bad day, to say the least. Just having a bad day. Everything was one shot in the first turn, and there were heals. Yeah, gotta take some units back. So we know where the base is. I don't think it'd be a smart decision to move the base. The Death Star is far away. Reinforcements nearby are inadequate, to say the least. A couple stormtroopers is not going to cut it. Right now, the Rebels just need to bunker down. Get ready to move if you absolutely have to, but just bunker down. No pun intended. Riken with a sabotage, I believe. Makes sense this late in the game. Slow down Imperial production. Although I don't think it'll have a major effect. There aren't any Star Destroyers on the board, or production with Star Destroyers. Magneto could be helpful, but luckily, or perhaps they planned this, Vader is blocking Magneto. Piet's on Mandalore, so definitely a hard sabotage. Definitely a hard sabotage for the Rebels to make. Just lots of blockade everywhere. This has been a very interesting game. 2 hours have gone by so far. I'd say we're approaching the, or probably past already the halfway point with a couple objectives on the way. It has not been easy for the Empire. Not been easy. And you got to start thinking now, Rebels have Death Star plans, and there we go. Just about to rant on about their Death Star plans, but our worst fears are confirmed. Heart of the Empire has happened, and now the game is about 1 to 2 turns away from going. This has been just a game of pain for the Empire. I mean, let's look at these objective cards. Liberation, good card all around. Threaten the core, good card all around. Crippling blow, good card all around. This one, definitely to play well, cut supply lines, but it was very easy for the rebels to play because there was just so much chaos going on across the galaxy. And Heart of the Empire and Threaten the Core is just a brutal combo. Early threaten, oh my goodness, early threaten the core and late Heart of the Empire, it can just change the game. You've got to defend Coruscant. You've got to. Death Star. That's why Death Star and Coruscant is such a good meta, because um because there's never going to be a rebel strike on the core if the Death Star is in Coruscant. It's invincible, and that's why route setup messes so many things up, because you've got to put the Death Star under construction in Dagobah, and it's under construction. It's not going to work. Yeah, Cornell is right. Planetary Conquest could not move the units. Yes, that's what Cameo was talking about. I'll discuss with the players afterwards. The stream will always be here to look over. That's why we like to stream these. Yeah, blocking movement. Yeah, I get it. We'll speak to the players after this. I do think that the Rebels will win this game, but if something does change, we'll definitely talk about this one. That's why we were planning on having Dubes here to help moderate. Yeah, Cornell. It doesn't really change. Here, I'll put up some of the comments. It doesn't really change much in the game at this point. I mean, we're one turn away. We're one turn away from the game. If they score an objective, of course, which they most likely will at this stage in the game. We're one turn away from the game ending. So definitely doesn't really change much. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Troops move out of Mandalore, but Piet was in the system. I messed that one up, so not to worry. Q looking good for the Empire, but again, it's too little, too late. Heart of the Empire it's the nail in the coffin. It's the nail in the coffin, to be sure. This has definitely been an interesting game. Games of up and down. The turn, I think the best turn for the Empire was when they had propaganda and fuel keep them in line. Playing that has definitely changed the course towards them. Yeah, definitely changed the course of the game towards helping the Empire, but it didn't come in time. Yeah, so Cornell's right. We'll let this one slip. This is why we have chat, to keep me on my feet and all the other streamers. At this point in the game, it doesn't matter. At this point in the game, it doesn't matter. Although I'll definitely keep a note of that planetary conquest. So there's going to be a last stage strike on the Rebel base. Most likely it will be crushed because deployment in Megiddo, because Vader saved the sabotage from happening in Megiddo. But the Rebels are just going to attack Megiddo first. There's no Ozzel, so no game changing there. But either way, you're not penetrating that. There's 4 speeders, there's a turret, there's troopers, there's a vanguard. They have most of their cards reset, so this just not looking good. Again, it is so laggy when I move around my screen. Maybe that's just because it's live. Perhaps when recording, it'll be better. I am recording this, so this will be reposted. But I'll see if that that makes it easier to watch. I've checked the audio. The audio is fine. Um, just the um, just the stream movement, like the players moving their mouse, that's also fine. So interesting how that works. Some deployment cache it's most likely not going to help too much. Um, these last few units, yeah, it's just the Empire's on its last legs, last 2 feet. It's the Superstar Sure was too little, too late. I'm afraid. One objective card, and this game may as well be over. It's great to see. It's great to see the Rebellion community back together for this tournament. I mean, it's 28 signups, I believe. That's how many we got. That made it to the final. Um, they made it into the bracket. 28 signups. We were expecting 14 to start. So this has been just so fun getting the community involved. And first game, definitely didn't think it'd go this well when it comes to streaming and planning and all that. But it's just been so fun to watch, so fun to plan. Um, I'm looking forward to the next few games that we're gonna have. So a quick reminder: best of three is coming in round three for upper bracket. Um, best of three will start, I think, after round three for the lower bracket, just to keep the game moving. And with the grand finals, last game, there is a bracket reset if needed, but that will be a best of five. So we haven't decided if we're going to do that in week. I think we decided to take 11 weeks to get through all the different rounds and games and so on. Again, that's all posted on Discord. Um, but the grand finals can be played sometime later. We're still working that out. These leaders. Let's talk about the leaders. Rebels have had very very decent leaders. I mean, I'm very curious to know what the action cards are for the Empire, the starting action cards, because they haven't played either of them. I'm guessing that it's Vader's and Track Them because those are cards that often go unplayed in games. Um, I'm not sure which recruitment card hasn't been played. I'm sure I could look through. Um, most likely, so I'm not sure actually. But again, definitely interesting to see post game. The Rebels have played all of their action cards, um, most of their recruitment cards, only two that they haven't played. And just reinforcing the base. The Empire has to charge through with, but when the base looks like that, what's the point? Moving towards Ord, hopefully to siege the base with a bit more of a force. But I am almost sure that the Rebels will play an objective card. If they don't play an objective card, next turn could be somewhat interesting, but it's still going to be just on your feet. I mean, even with added forces, all that, I don't think this base is penetrable. I just don't think so. We got Obi-Wan doing a slight attack. Perhaps this is where the objective card will be scored. Probably not. This battle's happening. At this point, I'm really there we go. Uh, didn't realize it was happening in Celeste. Imperial Factory, right? Imperial Factory. Both players call it. That's the game. I'll just ask the players. Curious to see what the action recruitment cards were. Okay, so Taj, yeah, Taj makes sense. Don't play Taj too often, and Palps. Um, Interesting that Palps wasn't played. I guess Palps wasn't in any major combats. Um, Ready for action makes sense as well. Um, we got Noble Sacrifice and Wiki Guardian. Noble Sacrifice just an obvious. You're not going to play it because Empire's never going to capture it. More of an insurance thing. Wiki Guardian, that was good to have in your pocket card. Um, I think this has been an amazing game. We could stay a little bit longer, see how the players what the players think. Yeah, it was just the missions this game. The missions early on, we can watch through again. I think it's about 2 hours, 30-ish minutes, uh, the stream currently. It was just the missions that messed things up. Established trade relations, first play. Yep, just brutal. Um, Public Uprising even came up. Both good rebel diplomacy missions, and again, we've talked about this before. The objective cards were just absolutely insane. So, um, definitely, definitely a good game. Good game to say the least. Okay. Yeah, definitely prioritize finding the base, but um, even finding the base at that point with planetary conquest um, wasn't great. We have Cornell. Yeah, thanks for the stream. Yeah, no problem. This has been fun to watch. Um, Definitely good to look back upon. Um, I should probably get going, but I'll let these two players talk it out. We'll register the points soon. We'll update the brackets. Good luck to all parties involved in future. Um, Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see everyone in in future streams.